are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Podcast. I'm Dylan Boateng on Twitter. Here to some Auburn Athletics news and special episode of the day, because if you look at your calendar, you will see today is July 1st, which means the deal with Nike is officially underway. Tradition turns to evolution as the Auburn Athletics program will be wearing the swoosh come athletics season. Of course, football being the first team to rock it. Now, today I wanted to go over what this means for Auburn for the better, because I think overall, I'm not alone in this thought. I am not the most vocal about Auburn switching to Nike, but I'm one of the big supporters of it. This has been a big deal as long as since it's been announced. It was a massive, massive deal for a lot of different reasons, and whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny Nike is the better brand for the athletes, despite whatever political affiliation you could have towards either brand, whatever you just initially think about the other brand. Nike is overall the best fit for Auburn going forward. And I have 5 things that I think will benefit Auburn the most with a switch to Nike, and also some things that I want to see as well. And starting off, putting the athletes first is one big thing I think Nike does very well. And one of the ways you see that is the gear improvement. Auburn athletes have been suffering at the hands of the Under Armour cleats. Softball players have complained about bleeding. And, Brie Ellis has been one of the ones that whenever she was with Auburn, mentioned before on Twitter, she had to wear a boot after a game because the cleats just hurt so bad. And, had to delete the tweet afterwards because, you're bashing a sponsor. But I think overall, I think athletes would be in a heavy agreement to this fact that overall the Nike gear is just better for the players. And, when you start putting the players first, it's a good sign that, that you care. And there are a lot of brands out there, a lot of programs out there that probably don't care about the athletes. But with Nike and the emphasis in protecting, their health and protecting, and making sure that they are able to play at the maximum capacity they are able to play athletically, you get that in Nike gear. And I think that becomes one of the big reasons that Auburn makes the switch. I think it becomes a massive step in the right direction for Auburn as a program. And number 4, I think you get a boost in recruiting with Nike. It's the brand every single kid, every single aspiring athlete dreams of repping one day. It's the shoe deal every basketball player wants. They want to have the next Nike shoe. They want to have the next Jordan shoe. They want to have that signature look. And Nike offers that at the best, at the top of the game right now. And I think with the gear, and of course, you're not going to be able to buy your Nike gear right away. But it's something that the athletes are really going to love when you see the recruiting pictures. When you see that swoosh, it speaks higher volumes than any other logo in sports, because that logo means something. When you were growing up as a sports fan, the top athletes you watch are wearing that swoosh. And, with Auburn being one of the top Under Armour schools, I don't think it ever really hurt Auburn. Probably were some athletes that did switch off of Auburn because of that, the difference in Nike and Under Armour. But I do think Auburn's a brand does kind of pull that weight that Under Armour wasn't really, helping with. I think that move from Under Armour to Nike really helps that. And, it could be a minuscule difference, but I guarantee you there are some athletes out there that Auburn could have landed had they had Nike. So I think you do get that boost in recruiting. And with the boost in recruiting and, of course, a boost in just overall talent acquisition, I do think Nike also offers Auburn more chances to have NIL opportunities for their fans. Not for their fans, for the players. There we go. And if you go look up any list, the highest earning programs, athletic programs, football programs in the country, you get Nike. like 9 out of the top 10 are all Nike. It might be, if it's anything, it's 8 at the lowest. Of course, you have Notre Dame in there. Of course, Notre Dame is, on a tier of their own when it comes to having their own brands. Under Armour and Notre Dame are like that. They are very close. Notre Dame is very, very picky about their brands and will stop at nothing to make sure they are the only Under Armour school when it's all said and done. But of course, I do think that Nike does offer more opportunities for athletes to get more NIL, and most of that's because, again, it's like I said earlier, that brand talks, and of course, most of those have to do with what's happening on the field. But I can't help but think like that Cam Coleman Nike jersey is going to go triple platinum whenever they first put those on racks. The Jackson Arnold one, Damari Alston, Keldrick Falk, dude, is going to make a lot of money from jersey sales. And I mean, all of them are. I think overall, I mean, you're going to get a lot more opportunities. I mean, look what Oregon has done with their NIL opportunities because of their relationship with Nike. And Auburn can have a relationship like that too, because Auburn does possess, 2 pinnacles of what made Nike in the 80s. One being Charles Barkley, the other being Bo freaking Jackson. 2 staples of the Nike brand that haven't been able to support Auburn brand-wise until they switched to Nike. And I'm not really saying it like that, but they'll wear the jerseys. But Chuck has been on record saying Auburn needs to make that switch. Bo Jackson, I don't know if he's been on record about it, but I'm sure he feels Auburn needs to make that switch. You get more NIL. You get more opportunities overall with that switch to Nike. And, of course, with the Nike brand, there comes the Nike look. And I think that's one thing, and this is where I get to my personal opinions of what Nike brings to Auburn. I think another thing you're going to see is a resurgence of classic and retro logos. I think you're going to – listen, I love the AU. I love the tradition behind the AU, but tradition only gets you so far. I'll get to that when I get number 1, and I think everyone pretty much knows. If you know me, you know what I'm going to say for number 1. But one thing I've noticed, and – I mean, Under Armour has some stuff with it, but my favorite logo, and it's one of my favorites I've ever had, and I had it for years, and it got old and stale and sweaty and changing colors, and I wore that to death. My favorite hat I ever had, my favorite logo overall, I mean, the A with the eagle flying through it. And you see that logo on merch. Like, I have a shirt with that on there. 47 sells a shirt with it on there if you want to know where that shirt comes from. And of course you have like the retro obby, the old Tiger logos, those classic looks that Auburn had throughout the 50s and the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Those differing Auburn logos that you don't really see on uniforms. You don't really see those being utilized anywhere else. I've seen so many jersey concepts, uniform concepts that utilize that logo, especially the eagle with the A on a helmet would look ridiculously good, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not making them, but I assure you they're going to look freaking cool. And I think with Nike, you get to see that a lot more. I'm going to keep using Oregon as the example because they are the staple of college football programs with Nike, and it's because the CEO went there. But you see all these retro logos get utilized in the football field. They UO, the retro lettering. You see those on helmets. You see the Donald Duck on there. You see all this other differing looks for Oregon. And I mean, some of those looks aren't going to mesh well with Auburn, but I think that with the color scheme and how things can change, you can utilize those old logos. And again, if you just go look up if you've seen the eagle flying to the A, you're missing out. I know we're the Auburn Tigers, but I mean, utilize the eagle. It's so cool. It's the best logo Auburn has, in my opinion. Again, I love the AU, but tradition doesn't always equal better. And that can be restated so often, and it's going to be restated again. Number one, the one thing Nike can bring to Auburn, alternate uniforms, i.e., orange jerseys. So again, I mean, this is something you don't see a lot of schools do this. A lot of schools do embrace the tradition of things. I know Auburn is a big proponent of that with their tradition, with what Auburn looks like. Auburn has the blue and the white pants and the orange and white power stripes on the sleeves, and blue and orange down the white pants. Auburn, that is Auburn. That is what Auburn looks like. But I think with Nike coming into play, and I think Under Armour did a decent job of kind of sticking to tradition. You didn't really see a divergence from that. I mean, the most they really did was honoring Pat Sullivan, which I did enjoy. That was putting the 7 on the helmet. That was a great thing to do, and I mean, it looked good. It looked really good. In the I don't really know if the face masks anything to do with Under Armour or not, but the orange and white face masks were great add-ons. I hope stay with Nike. But outside of that, nothing really changed. I mean, you get like you get like a different collar would be the most it would change. But I look back at like with Russell, and Russell was doing some great things with Auburn jerseys. That orange drop shadow looks awesome. I would love a jersey with the drop shadow on it. And I had one when I was like 4. And guess what? That jersey, I put it on my dog now. I can't wear it. It's not going over my head if I try to put that thing on. And other things along those Auburn wears practice pants that are blue with the orange and white power stripe. Those would look so sick if you just modified those to be game pants. And don't even get me started with the orange jerseys. I understand that people think the orange jerseys are cursed. No, that's not. Auburn's cursed, not the jerseys. That's how that goes. But those orange uniforms, I mean, if you go back, I mean, they looked a little too bright. That's the issue, is they looked bright. But they still look sick. If you modernize those, look at teams like Virginia, Illinois, Syracuse. They all have Auburn's color scheme, the dark orange and the dark blue. Look at them in their orange uniforms. They look sick. And the stupid thing that I hate about Auburn's athletic program is the fact that every single program has an extra uniform, has an orange jersey. All the major sports have an orange jersey. Baseball, softball, basketball, women's basketball. Who am I missing in that? Baseball. I said that already. But all the major sports at Auburn have orange uniforms. Gymnastics has like 5 in that regard. Auburn football doesn't. That's like the one stupid thing I hate. And you see the fan schedule come out and it's telling you to stripe the field, to wear orange, wear blue, wear white. And the wear orange thing, I appreciate because I love the color orange. I love Auburn's orange. It is a gorgeous color. It's a beautiful color. I use it. I use a similar color orange for my name tag right there. It's a beautiful color. And it would look so cool on a jersey. And then you have an orange out game and the whole stadium, honest, like the opposing fans in there are rocking orange. And then you look at the tunnel and out runs the Auburn Tigers in orange jerseys. So I'm not saying wear orange on orange on orange. I mean, the helmet colors, you can get a blue helmet, an orange helmet, but it should be orange, orange, orange. I mean, I want the white helmet, the white pants, and I want an orange jersey. That mesh together would look so clean. And again, I understand the tradition of it all. And I'm recording this at midnight now, and now Auburn is posting all over the place about Nike, it being officialized that, we're Nike now. I'm going to have to watch this after I get done recording just to make sure and see they didn't bring up any uniforms. But I definitely will be reacting to that. They're not doing a jersey reveal yet. But Nike does so much good for a brand that needs a rebrand in the sense of how people think of them. on the football field. And of course, when you think of Auburn, you're going to think of football first. And of course, Auburn is an everything school. Basketball just made it to the Final Four. The women's basketball team is back in the rebuild, but Coach Vickers is rocking right now in recruiting. Butch Thompson almost just took the baseball team to Omaha again. Softball made it to the regionals, and look promising going the next year. You have all these great things happening around the other sports, and they're going to be better because of the gear they're rocking. We as a basketball team no longer have to complain about having to use a different basketball than everybody else. That was like the biggest curse Auburn had, was the fact that they cannot practice with a Nike ball, and they'd go out there and play these teams with a Nike ball and wouldn't be able to shoot as well. And it's such a minor difference. You don't really think of that being the issue, but it is. It is the issue. They're not using the same ball in practice that the other SEC teams are using. The only team in the SEC right now that's Under Armour is South Carolina. That's it. Kentucky's Nike. Tennessee is Nike. Oklahoma's Jordan. Florida's Jordan. Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas, Missouri. I'm running out of SEC teams. They're all Nike. Bama's Nike, if I didn't say that already. And now you get opportunities to kind of level the playing field in that regard. But again, the big thing that I'm always going to talk about is the orange uniforms. It's something I've always been a big supporter of. I understand tradition. I understand it. But tradition does not mean staying put while everyone moves forward. Orange uniforms are going to look sick. They will. People have made concepts of them. They look cool. I use AI one day to mock up an orange uniform combo. It looks good. It looks sick. And again, there's other things that happen with Nike. And again, I understand people have their own prejudices against Nike. And again, with time, that will change. And other things can change too in time, i.e. how Auburn looks on the football field. So that's pretty much it. And that's something I just wanted to do. It's like a special episode. I just wanted to kind of put something out to kind of celebrate. Auburn is a Nike school now. I mean, the posts are official. Auburn is a Nike school. And again, I think this will be for the better, whether it's a boost in recruiting, which again, I think could be minuscule. But I honestly think the gear overall will affect player health. And people have complained about Under Armour before, but I think going forward, you'll get less of that with Nike. They make their cleats specifically for these sports. They are the best in the game when it comes to making cleats, gloves, jerseys, uniforms, all of that stuff. Nike is at the top of the game, and they have been for quite some time. And again, the best thing you're going to get out of, and again, Nike, the orange uniforms will be at the top of this list, but the best thing you're going to get out of this, you're going to get more support out of your two pinnacles of your program, the two guys that have built Auburn to what it is today. And that is Chuck and Bo Jackson. They are going to support this program even more now because he got Nike. And Bo's always been a big supporter, and so is Chuck. But again, Chuck has been, again, as I said earlier, Chuck's been very vocal about Auburn needing to switch to Nike, and has officially happened. So that's it for this of the College Loop podcast. This is a little special again. Just wanted to celebrate Auburn switching to Nike. Let me know what you think of the switch in the comment section below. Are you an Under Armour truther? Are you full steam ahead on Nike? And again, do you think Auburn should get orange jerseys for the football team? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. No ad today. We're a quick little episode, 20 minutes. But again, I'm Dylan Larck on Twitter. Got me on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck, DYLNLARCK. And of course, TikTok as well, at Boy the Tank. Trying to post more on there. I haven't posted in quite some time because I'm not that I've run out of content. I've run out of time to make content on TikTok. But I'm trying. You will see content on there eventually. But of course, check us out on the College Loop podcast right here on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. Again, leave your thoughts on the switch to Nike. Of course, check us out on social media on platforms as well. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works. All is the College Loop. And of course, Spotify podcast, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music for all the audio versions of the show. Stay tuned for another episode of the College Loop podcast. Of course, Thursday, we're going to be catching up on the Way Too Early Season Preview Series. It's going to be a twofer. You got Oklahoma and Texas A&M going on Thursday. Could be a good one. Could be a bad episode. Depending on I gotta get 8-4 somehow, and those two games could end up being bad. But of course, with that being said, thanks for tuning in to the College League Podcast. With that being said, as always, War Eagle and go Nike.